Hello world, welcome back to the Razor RC, and I thought I would shoot a video talking about the brand new Team Corelli Sketer 4S. Just came out a few days ago. It is shipping in the United States, so you can go ahead and check it out at your local hobby shop. If you're not sure where one is, go check out dealers.corelli.com and you can find out what your closest dealer is. But yeah, they are available here in the United States, so you can definitely pick one of these up. And since it's been released, there's been a lot of questions about this vehicle, so I thought I would kind of answer as many of those as I can, just kind of seeing what people are writing on the Facebook groups or the forums and stuff. So the number one question I think people are wondering is how big is this thing? And the specs are out there on world.corelli.com, but I think the vehicle they're most interested in seeing it next to is actually the Traxxas Max V2. So I've got a Traxxas Max V2 here on the left, and you can see, basically the size comparison. Lengthwise, it's about an inch longer, about maybe 1 1/8 inch longer in wheelbase. This is close to 14 inches in wheelbase. This one is about 12.8, I think, or so inches in wheelbase, so slightly longer. And then widthwise, again, this is about 1.5 inches longer on the Max, and this is a little bit narrower here on the right. So size-wise, the Sketer I think is really close, probably almost exactly the same as the Max V1. The Max V2, they made it 1 inch longer and about 1.5 inches wider, so that's why it's bigger. But size-wise, this is probably really close to the original Max V1 which I had. So yeah, that's how it looks size-wise. So some other questions. I will pull the Max off to the side. Don't need that anymore. But yeah, we're going to take a look at the vehicle. So I think the next biggest question people are wondering is what is actually, we'll kind of zoom in here a little bit, what actually is the motor size? So I measured it. It looks like it's 40 millimeters in diameter and about 6 to 8 millimeters long, but it does have these fins, and the fins are about 1.5 millimeters deep. So if you actually measured it without the fins, I think it's about 37 millimeters in diameter and 6 to 8 millimeters long. I think people are also wondering, will the system from the 6S Corellis actually fit? And I do happen to have actually 6S motor here. So the 6S motor is about 2 millimeters longer in length, I think 2 or 4 millimeters length. And then width-wise, this is also a 40 millimeters, although with the fins, I think it's closer to like a 42 millimeter cam. But you can see, it is a decent amount bigger. This is the 825 Curran, but it would fit. Looks like there is enough space. I think even underneath, there's enough space for an extra millimeter or two. And then ESC-wise, this is the Toro X135. As far as I can tell, it looks very similar to a Hobbywing SCT, which is a 4S capable ESC, but it definitely is different. For example, it does have capacitors added to the battery, so I think this is upgraded. They measure it at 135 amps, whereas the SCT Hobbywing, the Max 10 SCT, is I think 120 amps, and it does look like there's enough space to fit a basically Toro X185 ESC. I looked at it, it looks like it would fit just barely. I don't know if the mounting holes would match up, but there is definitely enough space in there. So yeah, if you want to throw in a Max or a 6S type system, I guess it would fit. I don't know if the drivetrain will hold up, but I think you would probably get a little more speed even just from the upgraded ESC, even if you're running it on 4S with that motor combination. I'm pretty sure the 6S system on 4S is faster than this system on 4S. They're just rated a little bit higher, and from what I've experienced with my Team Corelli 6S stuff, yeah, those things are crazy fast, even on 4S. Another question people had is what has broken so far. So the only thing that's broken so far is the fan. After the first run, I did break a few of the blades, so you might have heard it's sort of speeding up and slowing down. So I did replace that. I think it's a 25 millimeter fan, not exactly sure, but I believe that will fit. That's what I replaced it with. So yeah, if you want to upgrade the fan, that might be the only thing you might look at sort of off the bat if you're doing those big jumps, because obviously slamming it on the rear end especially is going to put a lot of stress on those fans. Those are probably Hobbywing fans. All my Hobbywing fans tend to break, so not surprised there. The wheels. So another thing people notice is that this thing, really has more like 1/10 scale monster truck sized tires and wheels. These are not standard 2.8 inch wheels or 3.8 inch wheels. I measured them. They're actually 3 inches in wheelbase, or I'm sorry, 3 inches in diameter. So I think the reason for that is that the front knuckles with that pivot ball suspension, they're fairly large. So I don't think a standard 2.8 inch wheel would fit on here correctly. You will need to go to at least 3 inches. I did try on some 3.8 inch Badlands. They do fit, although the tires will rub against the body if you compress the suspension, or if the tires balloon a bit or whatever. You can put on 3.8 inch Badlands, the original Badlands, not the MX-38s. So that will fit, but I think these fit a little bit better, especially with that body. You would have to cut it out if you put on, like, larger diameter tires. The next question I think people are wondering is, like, how fast is this thing, right? I think there are other videos out there. JTRC measured it. Go check out his channel. He's got some videos on the Sketer also, but he measured it at, I think, 43 miles per hour on 4S. And something I want to say about speed is that it varies a lot, because there's a lot of factors at play. Temperature is a big one. Where I live in California, it's like 65 degrees. Warmer weather, it's going to be faster. The batteries are going to be able to discharge it a little bit higher with less resistance. So that is one factor. Second factor is the battery type that you're using. I mean, I'm running pretty much race spec batteries. These are 6,000 milliamp hour Gen Z's Redline batteries. These are meant for 1/8 scale racing. They have very high discharge rates, pretty good batteries. That will also impact the power that you see. My personal opinion, this thing I think is comparable to the other 4S vehicles that have been out there. The Max V2, I think it's comparable. The Kraton 4S, which is no longer sold, has a very similar size can. I think those are 36 by 70 millimeter can motors, so similar in size. The ESCs are different. I'm not really sure what the ESCs are. I think they're like BLX 120s or something like that. But power-wise, I think it's similar. This truck is about 3/4 of a pound lighter than the Max. So I think the power delivery, it's different than the Max. The Max feels heavier, and you feel like sort of that ESC motor working, but it doesn't actually accelerate all that hard. It does flips in the air, but again, it's got bigger tires. It's going to be able to rotate that. I think it rotates a little bit more easily than this, but not a lot more. The Max, is not a huge backflipping machine. I can do singles and doubles, but I think a lot of that is more due to the tires. So about I think it was like 350 grams or so, or about 3/4 of a pound lighter with this vehicle, and it does seem more agile and quick. So actual acceleration, I think it's similar to the Max V2. Is it faster? I don't know. Top speed wise, yeah, the Max has been measured, in the low 50s, but again, that's more a matter of gearing than it is actually the power system. So I can't say that just because it's faster. I mean, you could gear this thing up. I mean, it was running pretty cool my first time out, and you could definitely probably add a tooth or two onto the gearing. This is geared a little more for all-purpose bashing and not really top speed runs. So anyways, yeah, those are just some answers to a lot of common questions about the Sketer 4S. If you have more questions, throw them down in the comments below. I'll try to answer whatever I can. But yeah, out of the box, the last thing I want to mention is that size-wise, if you look at this, I mean, it's pretty much the same size as a 1/8 scale buggy, but it's just got the wider tires and obviously sort of that monster truck or stadium truck style body. But yeah, the platform wise, I think the arms are the same as like the Python. The chassis is your standard 1/8 scale length chassis or short course truck length chassis. Is it 1/8 or 1/10? I mean, is a Max 1/10 or 1/8? Traxxas claims that's a 1/10, but it's really much larger than that. Again, this is also, I think, larger than your standard monster truck like a Granite or Haas or Stampede or whatever thing like that. So yeah, anyways, that's it about the Sketer 4S. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons. Look for more videos soon. Thanks for watching.